Welcome back, everybody. My name is All Fun and Games. I stream every day on Twitch TV, and I also make fun little videos here on YouTube. All right. I know what you're thinking. A while ago, I made a video. Well, actually, funny enough, I had a chance to look back on it, where I was contemplating the best and the worst characters of Don't Starve Together. And originally, I was like, Wurt for me doesn't really, make much sense. However, I still, I believe, put Wurt in S tier. I think so. I'd have to double check on my thing that I made. I don't remember. Anyways, however, after playing Wurt for a short period of time, I started really realizing how amazing Wurt was. Now, and I know in my previous video, I also showcased all the good characters, potentially the best characters in Don't Starve Together. But what I wanted to make a video on is potentially the best character in Don't Starve Together. I might also make a video for the worst character in Don't Starve Together. So prepare yourself. Anyways, let's talk about why Wurt could be or is the current best character in Don't Starve Together. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Wurt, Wurt is a character that obviously is most likely your DLC character. If you don't know what a DLC character is, it means a character you have to purchase or you can weave using spools. However, Wurt is one of those characters that are not one of your normals as you would get just by having Don't Starve Together, meaning you have to find a way to purchase and or create using spools, which come from basically obtaining items and unraveling them, and free ways of getting it. If you type exclamation mark spools on my Twitch channel, you'll find a link on how to get it. Anyways, now, going through all the characters in Don't Starve Together, obviously I've played quite a few characters, so let's skim through them real quick. Wilson, plain Jane character, basically just your neutral character. Willow, not good at all. Wolfgang recently got a skill tree added on, not that bad, but not that great. Wendy, a top tier character for sure. WX is okay-ish, still good, better before for rune rushing, actually maybe even better now, I don't even know. Late game, Wickerbottom, not so amazing. Got a little bit of a nerf and then got a few other cool things, but doesn't really get used that often. Woody recently got a skill set change that actually brings Woody pretty high up there now. Maxwell. Sorry, Wes. Maxwell is decent, has a lot of utility, but still not one of the best characters. Wakeford is a fairly good character. I actually might be bringing Wakeford up. Once this whole skill tree is all finished, I think I might redo another kind of another reorganized thing for each character, but for now we got to wait for all that to happen. Wakeford will probably be pretty amazing once that skill tree brings over to Wakeford. Weber used to be good, still my favorite character, but don't play him that often, so that sucks. Winona is not a good character. I actually hope Winona gets a ton of stuff on the skill tree thing. Here's hoping. Worley, very hard character, good character, just needs a little bit more love. Warthog's probably another great character, if not tied with Wurt, a smidge more on Wurt for the best character. Wormwood is decent, more farming oriented, but still actually okay. Walter, not good in my opinion at all. The only plus side is that you have a Beefalo for a short period of time, aka Wabi, that runs around, and then you're basically done. Wanda is a good character, although still not the best, but also not the worst. Okay, why is Wurt the best? The reason why I went through all the characters is because I didn't want you to just assume that I'm just pointing to Wurt and going, this character's amazing. You have to see all the rest of the characters before that. So let's go real quick as to why Wurt is probably the number one, if not the number one. So let's talk about the points. At home in the swamp, meaning that Wurt is really good at running around the swamp, gets a little bit of a boost, and you can take swamp turf and basically manipulate the world, turning swamp turf into actually road turf, which is pretty crazy considering the amount of actual swamp turf that there is in the constant. So you can go into your world and dig it all up and make your world whatever you want. Has a big plans for the Merm kind, meaning that you can take and make a Merm King, which raises Wurt's stats and attack ability, and you can gain Merms like crazy just by fishing and getting the resources you need for Merms and Merm warriors to boot, which is pretty crazy. Is it vegetarian? Let's talk about that and why people think that's probably one of the worst things. Now let's choose Wurt and let's just wander into the game. I might have to enable creative mode here just to give myself a little bit of love. And of course, let's turn this. Oops, sorry. Let's go, and now it's unlocking all of Wurt's abilities. That's why I don't actually like turn on creative mode. Anyways, so Once again, you get to make the Merm King with their do-it-yourself royalty kit, I should say. This has to be placed on, of course, the swamp turf. When you do that, you take a regular Merm and it walks over onto the Merm thing platform and turns into a Merm King, transforming your stats. And you're happy and lovable, and your character is a million times better because they now have that Merm King raising their stats. Now, of course, you can take and make Merm fortifications, which true warriors live within. Of course, these are warrior merms, which are very okay. They're not easy to make, but they're easy-ish. They require tentacle spots, which you know how to get those from tentacles. So if you know how to like go out there and kill all the tentacles and get more of them, then you rinse and repeat that, and you pretty much are golden to get a ton of warriors running around and following you and loving you. You can also opt to just have regular merms to do it if you want, or you can do the merm warriors, whichever you please. Both are really good regardless. Okay. None other than when it's raining, which is crazy, or when Wurt is wet, you don't lose your weapon in your hand. That's right. It's not going to fall out of your hand, which is, okay, that is just crazy to me. Like, I think that's amazing how that's just how it should be anyways, because, you know, merms are basically wet all the time because they're always near fish and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, not to mention when you're on a boat and the fish, or sorry, and the boat sinks, you are not going to lose any of your stuff and you'll just appear on land. So, for example, like I think we can do, is it C_score adventure? C_score adventure, go adventuring, give ourselves a bunch of goop, go into here. Let's make ourselves a boat. If I could spell boat correctly. And then we'll go like this. And then let's go and set it on fire. I think if I just do this, this should set it on fire. Think that'll set it on fire enough to do damage? I might have to like actually set it on fire. I don't really know. I might actually have to set it on fire. There's probably easier ways to destroy a boat than this, but this seems pretty good. Looks like it's slowly lighting on fire. I was thinking about getting like well, I have a bunch of grass. I can just go like this. Bink, bink, bink. Just to show you how cool this is, because honestly, this is one of the coolest things for a character in Don't Starve Together. Oh, it's not losing anything, but it's gonna start to catch on fire here, which should hopefully make it. It's not losing any durability. Come on, boat, let's go. There we go. Okay, it'll take a few more for this to actually like go down fast. Anyways, so while we're waiting for this boat to sink, Wurt just honestly has so many pros and not many cons, except for what? The fact that Wurt is a vegetarian. Okay, well, is that really a con? Well, that's why we have to talk about that, because originally when I played Wurt, I literally was like, I'm not playing a character that only requires, you know, veggies because it's very hard to get. And then I realized it's actually not that hard. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and the boat's going to sink now. 3, 2, 1. Blink, and then now I'm going to fall in the water. And I'm going to reappear on land. This is the coolest thing. And I have not lost any of my stuff. And I've lost my HP, but I haven't lost my max HP. Okay? Yeah, this is why, honestly, Wurt is just phenomenal. I don't know what happened. Clay must have went out there and was like, we love Wurt. We must love Wurt even more. And they must have thought, okay, look, being a vegetarian in DST is super tough and blah, 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 blah. It really isn't. And let's talk about why. Okay, let me get my map reveal command real fast, just so you can kind of get like a little bit of glimpse as to how much resources is out there for Wurt in order to survive by just eating veggies and veggies exclusively. So, first, you don't care about water, right? So that means one thing and one thing only. Going to the moon biome shouldn't be any worries to you, because literally you can fall in the water and your boat could get destroyed and you'll appear on land, and yeah, that's amazing. So the number one amazing resource for Wurt is none other than stone fruits. When you get these, you can dig them up and bring them home, and you have endless amounts of veggies right away. So really, you should look around for these, not necessarily day one, but eventually. Number 2, when you start out in Don't Starve Together, you can explore around and get yourself a ton of carrots. Of course, you can make yourself none other than one of the best dishes in the game as well, which is butter muffins. Butter muffins are super easy to get, of course, requiring butterflies and twigs and some filler. However, you know, if you're not able to get butterflies in certain seasons, Well, of course, you have to resort to other things. And by that time, you should be able to create yourself some more dishes. So, for example, if you've bundle wrapped or was able to save a few berries, you can take a ton of ice, even in wintertime, and make yourself a fistful of jam, other things like that, and go on and so on and so on. Now, you can also go into the caves and live off of basically mushrooms just by getting them from a mushroom farm. So, until you actually get yourself the stone fruit that's over here, you should have an ample amount of actual veggies just literally out in the wild. Anything that's not meat, you're perfectly fine, which is a lot of resources. The other cool thing too is just because you're worried about healing, well, there's other ways to heal, of course, using veggies than just focusing on things like pierogies and going, well, it's too hard for me to heal. Of course, like I said, bean butter muffins, one of my favorite dishes to heal from and super easy to get. So if you sit there and actually focus a little bit more on actually ways to heal using veggies or using other resources, for example, using glands and all that other stuff to make yourself, multiple ways of healing, like honey poultice and all that other stuff. There's multiple ways to actually heal, so you don't necessarily have to worry about that. Now, in middle of a fight, you're going to have so many merms surrounding you that you're probably not going to be actually going through the process of fighting. Because I mentioned you only need 2 fish to create a merm, which in turn literally will be your friend for a very long time. And of course, you can make merm warriors if you want to use tentacle spots, which, might be a better option for you because they do a lot more damage and they're a lot more tanky. And the more you have, the better, and it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. You can go out and literally chop an entire forest down in a matter of minutes with how many merms are going to follow you around, and it just gets endless from there. The bonus is merms that are in a pact, when you feed one merm, will become loyal to you even further just by them being around you. They'll all start to chant in like this kind of like chanting formation where they all start to love you, so you're not relying on feeding multiple merms at the same time. The only catch is you have to make sure that your merm king, when it is around, does stay alive and does get fed consistently, and you do need a little bit of resources to get that. The do-it-yourself kit for Wurt specifically, so if we click on the Merm King, I think if I type in King, you know what, I'll just go out of creative mode just to make it a little bit easier. The do-it-yourself royalty kit, when you first make it, only requires 5 boards and rope and all that other stuff, but when you get to it, it requires kelp, it requires beefalo fur, and a few other utilities in order to actually craft it so you can make the station for the actual Merm King. When you do that, it does require a little bit, but don't worry about that because it doesn't take much from there to get yourself a Merm, and even if that Merm dies, or if that Merm King dies, eventually another Merm will appear near it once the time rotates to actually bring that merm back out. So overall, Wurt is one of the best characters in DST because it literally does not have any downsides other than if you really consider veggies a downside, which to me, once I realized that there's so many veggies in Don't Starve Together that heal you and do other effects, you really don't have to worry about it. My suggestion, go out there and try playing Wurt. I think you would be super surprised at how amazing Wurt really is. And not to mention, Wurt has some of the coolest skins in DST. So if I've missed anything, please comment down below why you think Wurt is still one of the best characters in Don't Starve Together, if not the best. The added skill trees that's going to be added in are going to make Wurt go through the roof, which leads me to believe that Wurt might not get the best skill set, but who knows, considering the fact that Clay literally is patting Wurt on the back every chance they get. So great character all around. I would really consider getting Wurt if you have a chance to. Currently for me, as of August 2023, Wurt is, if not the best character to choose from and Don't Starve Together. Prove me wrong in the comments. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.